Duolingo is also an example of an AI-first company. Now they've changed their workforce planning so that if you want more headcount in your unit, you first need to come up with a presentation proving that AI cannot do this work. At DBS, one of the largest banks in Asia, 10% of the workforce is being made redundant because AI is now starting to do the work instead. Aren't you happy they began this afternoon session with an inspirational speaker? All right. So that's Duolingo. Digital content today is brain chemistry, somebody else's brain chemistry wrapped in story. This sets a higher expectation on what your customer journeys are. Right? The other thing that's happening here is that the GP recently said, hey, Lucien has a little bit of pre-anxiety. That's why it takes him sort of two hours to wind down at nighttime. I'm just going to prescribe, not a drug, but digital content. I'm going to prescribe you the Headspace app. Now, in a very age-inappropriate fashion, I've introduced my sons to Star Wars, which might be why Lucien has a bit of pre-anxiety. But now every night, before we get to the really good storytelling, like me reading a story, first of all, on the Headspace app, the mental health app, Headspace, we now do breath work with Yoda. Why? Because today, digital content is brain chemistry wrapped in story. He tunes into the story, a similar experience to what ABZ Labs are now doing with American war veterans, whereby tuning into the digital content, they can lower their cortisol levels or boost their serotonin levels if they suffer from PTSD. What I want you to be thinking about is your customer journey as soothing, as serotonin-inducing, as loyalty-creating, as what we're now seeing from these beautiful apps who realize that digital content is brain chemistry wrapped in story. This is mindful technology. Now, also, when I'm not in my cabin, which is an award-winning eco lodge in this national park, I sometimes rent it out on Airbnb. What do we get worried about on Airbnb as hosts? Somebody throwing a big party while we're away from our homes. Airbnb realized that this was a massive problem, then deployed predictive AI to see whether a particular booking might be for an unauthorized party or not. Since they launched this AI predictive analytics, unauthorized parties have dropped by 55%, along with insurance requests and stuff from Airbnb because all the champagne glasses got smashed last weekend. Again, predictive client experiences, fixing problems before they even occur. And this mindful technology can also be used against scammers and hackers.